Now we'll be looking at a few cheat sheets that we can work with in InDesign. So first step is converting the unit. So let's try here, and let's just make a box here. And take this rectangle tool, click and drag, and make a box right like so. So I can need, say, maybe that's set to something like 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters. And I'm going to press tab, and that will be turning the unit into point and converting the 30 centimeters into whatever the conversion comes up here. So that's exactly 30 centimeters. And I can click out. Same works for if you want to set it up millimeters, like say 30 millimeters, and there. That's a 30 millimeter rectangle. So it does the conversion for you. Now this works in the new document box that we got open as well. So let's say if I have a new document here, say I want a 200 centimeter, press tab, and that will be immediately turning into Picasso or points. See if I change it to centimeters, it says 200 centimeter right away. Say I want to set the height of this box to 1 inch, so I can also do it with quotation marks that represents inch. That will give me that 72 point inch. That is 1 inch box. Also, it can do in decimals. So let's say I want to do it 0.7 inches tab. There, it changed it into 0.7 inch automatically. You can also do some other things with these boxes. Let's say I want to have, make this guy half the width. So I can just go here and give /2. That's gonna divide it by 2 and give me half the box. So math can be done here, and if you want to kind of multiply it, then you can give *3 tab, and there it kind of is now times 3. You can add, subtract, divide, and multiply. Say now recent long document. Let's go here. Okay. View, display performance, high quality. Okay. Say I want to select something like this is here. Comes within here. Okay. Right, like so. These two are overlapping each other. Now if I try to select this here, let's say these are overlapping. Okay. If you want to select this, I can hold Control and click, and it'll go behind. One step behind always. It also clicks behind the guy in the background, this guy. Click one more time and it'll now go to background. So if you want to select the object that is one step behind, you can hold Control and can do that. So next shortcut is something that I use probably the most. Now if I have this text, let's say I'm going to make a text hole, right like so, and go in here, then with placeholder text. Okay, so I'm going to double click here, Control A, select this all, and maybe I'll just place it here. Double click here, Control X, Control V. Just bring it here. Okay, better. Okay, now if I hold Control Shift and full stop, it is going to increase the size. And if I hold Control Shift and comma, that is greater than and smaller than in other way, and make my font bigger or smaller. Really handy. Another thing you can do is you can play around with the tracking. All you need to do is you need to have this text selected and press Alt key and use the left arrow keys or the right arrow keys to increase or decrease the tracking. Also, now hold Alt and give up arrow key. That is going to increase my leading. So these are kind of useful shortcuts. Next thing, say I have this text wrap here. Okay. So I have a text wrap here. Let's just make this black for a while. I want the text to be black, so I'll be putting this into hue black. Okay. And okay. Right click, text frame options. We have to ignore text wrap all the time. If this is off, actually this is off by default. So whenever you put something like this around the object that is actually using the text wrap, then it won't work. You have to every time go in here, text frame options, and go ahead and give ignore text wrap. So every single time you have any sort of this instance, you have to go and take that box again. So there is a way you can change this forever. All you need to do is you need to go in the preferences, composition, go to edit menu, preferences, composition. Here I have text wrap only affects text beneath. If I check this on and give OK. Now this was already above, so anything that's above here will not be text wrap. Let's say I want to send this back, arrange, send backward, and there you can see that text wrap is applying. So I'm going to bring it arrange into front. Okay, so it kind of sets here. So another cool tip: every time you draw a new type box, grab a type box, draw it out. And you can see that the font I have here is the Minion Pro 12 point, which I never use. So I'll go and change it. So also my swatches panel has old boring colors that I never use, which I wish there was a way to change the defaults forever. All you need to do is have nothing opened in InDesign. Now let's just click here, close all, give no, here no as well. Create new. The font style, go to font. Here, character. Just gonna give essentials here. Okay. So here I'm gonna change my font to Arial black. Text font Arial black. Again, this is 10 point. And with letting auto. Okay, auto is fine. So if I add any of the swatches, let's say go ahead in swatches. Maybe I want to add new swatch, that is create new swatch. Maybe RGB or red. Let me see CMYK. I'll just add one. Bring down the blacks. Okay, I'll just add this guy here. It seems cool. So now, if I create a document now, new document, and let's just take some random stuff. So now if I click here and drag, it is going to type Arial Black 10-point font, and I have my swatch color within the swatches. So make sure everything is closed, switch it to essentials, and you can change probably anything. Most important to change, start essential type tool. Switch paragraph, and maybe you can also switch to maybe a hyphenate here. Switch off the hyphenate option as well. Let's go back here. Windows, workspace, essentials. Hyphenate off. Okay. And it is actually always on by default, and kind of nobody prefers that on. So you probably like that, turn it off. And so let's take a new another shortcut, cheat sheet. Skip this. So probably I want to highlight this and make something as a title case. So here, okay. I want to select this guy, do a click, and I want to make this title case. So I'm gonna give Control Enter, and that is gonna give me a quick apply. And there I have my paragraph styles or everything. Or anything I can add title, case, maybe a space in between here. Okay. Click here and it will immediately be changed to title case. If I undo here, so you can do that here. Select the text. Control Enter. You can access any of these settings. Like here, I previously searched title case, so it came up here. I'm getting uppercase, upper here. I click, and so it's a really handy one. So I click here, click Control Enter, uppercase. So I can quickly move around and edit things like this. I'm gonna go ahead and give undo to that changes. Next step is jumping pages. So here I can give Control J and give the page number 5 and give OK, and I will be jumping on to page number 5. Control 0 and see. I'm on page number 5. Now let's say I want to jump to page number 30. Control J, page number 30, enter, and here I am on page number 30. It kind of is long, but that's one of those things that I use quite a bit from jumping back from page to page. Another feature you can use is trying to see 2 pages at once. We've only got one screen, so what we can do is, let's say we're dealing with the contents page, but we also want to be looking at different pages, just to make sure that maybe headings are matching up and this little insignificant little button top at the bottom here. It's kind of click to split the layout view, and there I have 2 views for this. I can go here, maybe I'll just choose this one. So I can work zooming in here, and I'm working here, and I can work here as well. Also, I can scroll through my document, anything I want, find out my headings, and start doing some work over here. Maybe I'm working with headings here and here. I want to see the overall view. Seems better if you are on a bigger screen and working on a little laptop, so it's not kind of that good. Another thing you can do is, say, on the side here, you can look at the big version of the document. So the big overall arcing thing, I'm going to jump to page number 1. And I'm going to work in really fine detail, and let's see. You can see here on the side is adjusting. It's kind of useful in 2 ways. Let's go here and here. Okay. So I'm going in here, making changes, going update right like so. Next one is playing around with spreads. I'll just go back to my regular view, and so I've got these 2 spreads side by side here. Now we work with Control 0, that is a fit to screen. It will fit the page in our view. But if you hold down Control Alt 0, it will fit the spread in the view. It's really handy. And now you can see that spread is nicely kind of in the middle. Next step is the follow on. Now if I use my page down key, page down for some unknown reason in InDesign, it doesn't go down, but it kind of goes down, but not with respect to the spreads. This is kind of hard to work this thing to get around this. So what we need to do before we click the page down, click on the Alt key and now get the page down, and nicely it will set the page at the middle. So much handier than zooming through the document. Now a side note, if you don't have a page down key, there's no room in the keyboard or any other laptop that does not have any page down key, you can use function key that is in the bottom left of your keyboard, and you can hold Option and then you can use up or down arrow keys. So next step is not to obscure, use it much. So all these documents are open, let's say 3 tabs, maybe 2 tabs. Let's just open a 2-tab document here. More here, date links. Skip this for now. Okay, so let's say you have these 2 documents open. You can tell they're not saved because there is a little bit of an asterisk mark here, here, and here. But you need to save them all and close them all. So the shortcut is pretty much all the keys and S. Control Alt Shift S and it will save them all. And Control Shift Alt W closes them all. I'm going to just give it Control Shift Alt W and it will close them all. You can give no here, no here as well. Anyway, this could be helpful. Now this shortcut has a few different features to it. Now if I'm going to grab a rectangle tool, say this one, so by default it is going to give me a line outside and no fills. By default it will be something like this and no fills. So if I want to switch between my fill and stroke, it can be really fiddly, but it's a teeny tiny option over there. You can just tap X here, click here, here, X, and toggle between these 2 here options here. It brings the fill in the front and the stroke to the front. And to fill to the front, so I can go like without having say I want to fill it red, then I'm gonna go X, choose the color red, and go to here, and double click here, and maybe just give it none from here as well. Or you can use the shortcut slash to give it none. So if you just got it the wrong way around, you draw something and you want the fill to be stroke, you can hold the Shift X, and you can exchange the fill to stroke or stroke to fill. Shift X just shifts the switches between the stroke to fill and fill to stroke. You can also use these arrows here, and if you hover here, you can see the shortcut Shift X, which is kind of a handy shortcut that also is used in Photoshop and Illustrator. Another shortcut that people use is when you have a black arrow selected, with this, and if you use this dot, it is going to activate the gradient. Let's just give it X here. Okay, full stop is going to activate gradient, comma will activate a fill, and slash will remove everything. Forward slash, the fill is gone. Full stop, we have gradient, and the comma would give you a fill.